I'm not giving a speech. I would like to talk to you from an unprepared statement. There is an official statement to which you can hold me responsible, which was given to the organizers and which will be circulated. So anything I say now, I can always deny. So I will be very often out of tune, off tune, and very controversial. And I love to do this in occasions like this, when I am with the future leaders, because I always believe that you, the future, have much more open minds than me and my colleagues in the elderly community. So I count on your patience, tolerance, and understanding in whatever I'm going to say now. I want to thank Her Royal Highness Princess Serva for inviting me and for the organizers who made this honor and privilege possible for me. I would like you, before you leave, to visit one center before I get into the subject, the Talal Abu-Ghazaleh Knowledge Society. It is not officially yet open, but you can visit it. It's a location immediately in front of the Jordan University. This is my gift to students in Jordan. It is a new concept, unprecedented in history or in the world, where students of universities, all universities, under a strict system of security, can access this community of knowledge where they can use the internet for free. And our very special internet. It's not the ordinary internet that you use in your schools, because we have our own line to the backbone, a very high-speed internet connection. You can use our e-library. You can use all the facilities that are available there. We are registering this invention under intellectual property laws of business networks, because it's a combination of a Kinko, a business center, an internet cafe, a library, a teaching center, and many other things. I urge you to go and visit it, and I would love you to become members of that society. I promised His Royal Highness Prince Hassan, whom I owe a lot in my career, of 3 or 4 decades of friendship and scholarship, because I learned a lot from His Royal Highness, to have a similar center in the Al-Hassan Scientific City. Now let me go to the subject. You have spent several days talking about the UN and impersonating UN persons in what you call a mockery. I have done this for over 3 decades in real life. And I can tell you that my experience is not much different from yours. Because in the United Nations, and don't get any false impressions, although I currently serve as the deputy of Ban Ki-moon, the Secretary General, in his position as the President of the United Nations Global Compact, I can tell you that the UN is not more than a multitude of forums. It is forums for discussion, for debate, for voicing concern, and for shouting out cries. But it's nothing more than that, except when it comes to those countries that have the special veto right on the Security Council. These are the exception. But in the UN system, it is an institution of debate, and a very important institution of debate. Don't misunderstand me that in any way I am suggesting that it is not that useful or that important. It is very important, and we should try to be more involved in it, and I want you, when you grow up and when you get to that position, to go on and keep making dust, because making dust gets attention. And I remember in one occasion a story with the late Nelson Rockefeller. I had the privilege of once being invited to lunch with him on a purpose. He wanted to talk to me about something which is not the subject of discussion here. But I said, he offered that he and I could work on a particular project. And I laughed. And he said, why are you laughing? He said, I can't figure out how can a partnership develop between the elephant and the mosquito. You being the elephant and I being the mosquito. And this man, amazingly wise, said, maybe you don't realize that the mosquito is more powerful than the elephant. No elephant can ever hurt a mosquito, but a mosquito can go on making life miserable for the elephant. And that's what we can do at the UN Forum and in all other equal forums. So let us not be discouraged when we think of what we can and we cannot do. Let us keep making noises. Let's keep making the elephant aware of our presence and aware of our problems. Yes, as I said, it is important. And let me look at your agenda. In your agenda, the General Assembly Forum. How many resolutions on Palestine were passed? Did we see any of them implemented? ECOSOC, of which I'm a member. ECOSOC. What can ECOSOC do except what the individual countries in ECOSOC wish to do? A discussion forum. Security Council, yes. And we have one of the countries that have this veto power represented here. And we thank you, Your Excellency, for being here. And we thank you for sponsoring our people from Ramallah. This was a great gesture from a great country. Similarly, all the other, and I don't want to continue listing the other organizations that you modeled, but keep modeling and keep making dust. To me, the UN, as I said, is a forum for discussion of a multitude of peace and security risks. And if anybody can define the difference between peace and security, I would like him to teach me. Because I can't, and I cannot tell the difference between the two. And if anybody can give me a diagnosis of what is the cause and what is the consequence, again, I would like to be told. This is a very complex issue. But, unfortunately, these risks are often a creation of nature and man, in partnership and in most of the time in complicity. And that's what's bad about this problem of risks. Let me first list some of what I consider to be future risks, which will stay beyond my generation and certainly beyond yours as well. Financial crises, and you're living in the middle of one of them. And if you're interested to know more about this global financial economic crisis, I will be leaving you in half an hour to go to speak at the Talal Abu-Ghazaleh College, and you're all invited afterwards if you have the time, if you finish. At the Talal Abu-Ghazaleh College on a forum, which I'm the speaker, and which will be televised as well, on the work